Hey, Elizabeth, we just got an offer on your home.
Maury, that's wonderful news. I'm so excited.
I am so too. But, however, they have to sell their home first.
Oh, okay.
If you're a home seller and you get an offer on your home, but the buyers have to sell their home first, how does that work? And let's flip it. Let's say you're a buyer and you want to buy another home, but you've got to sell your home first, take the proceeds out of that and put it into the next home. What are your choices? What are your options? How can you make that work? I'm going to explain both of these situations in this video, and I'm going to use two real life experiences that happened to clients of mine just this past month to show you how it works. One of them had a kick-out clause, and the other one did not. Let's break it down. So this first example is a home in Louisa that I listed for clients, and we put it on the market, and within 5 days, we had an offer come in. We didn't have any other offers on the table yet, so we wanted to look at this one seriously. It turns out that the folks that wanted to purchase had to sell their home first, take that proceeds they got out of that, and put it into this one. So in discussions with the writing agent, I found out they had not put it on the market yet. So whenever you have that kind of situation, you have something where like, well, what's the time frame? Well, we don't know because they haven't even put it on the market yet. We don't know. Once they go under contract with their home, then we have a timetable and say they're going to close in 30 days, and we know our time frame's over here. So when you don't know that, and someone has not put a house on the market yet, then you're in a situation where you really truly need what's called a kick-out clause. And what that does is a kick-out clause is added to the house sale contingency, and it says it gives my sellers the right to continue showing their home and continue receiving offers. If they receive an offer that they say, hey, this is an offer we want to accept, then they can give the previous buyers notice. In this case, it was a 48-hour notice to the buyers and says, we've received a better offer, so we're giving you notice that if you cannot satisfy all contingencies, we're going to have to kick you out. And in that case, that is what happened. So we actually went under contract with these buyers, and it turns out that 7 days later, we received another offer where folks didn't have to sell their house first. And it was a very good offer. So we gave them notice from the kick-out clause and said, hey guys, we're going to have to kick you out because we do have now a better offer. And they hadn't even had any showings on their house over there yet. So it was obvious a kick-out clause was needed. And in this case, it did work properly. But one quick takeaway from that scenario, think of it this way. As a seller receiving an offer with a house sale contingency and they haven't put it on the market yet, it gives you as a seller some protection early on until those folks, if those folks got their house under contract over there, then we could say, okay, we're going to remove the kick-out contingency now because we're all on the same pathway moving forward to closing, but that never happened. So a seller, you can have some protection early on in the game if they're not under contract yet. So that's the way to keep you safe at the early part of it and keeps your options wide open. All right, the second example of a home I had for sellers over in Lake Monticello, we put a home on the market, got all the photos, videos, everything out there. I do multiple videos on there, and it really just exploded onto the market. We started getting showings quickly, and within 24 hours, we had an offer that came in that was better than what my sellers were asking for in multiple regards. It was an incredibly good offer, and the agent actually did an exceptional job of saying, look, we want to tie this up because we know there's a lot of interest. All right, that's great. But they had to sell a house first. Oh, here we are again. Yep. But this one was different. So they had to sell their house first, but the agent did a superb job of communicating to me and my clients. They already had their home on the market. they already received a contract on their home on the market, and they were already into the process and passed the home inspection. They'd already satisfied the home inspection contingency. So they were well along the way of getting all the way to closing. And then once they closed on that one, they were giving us a cash offer. So we had a situation where we don't need a kick out provision in that. We're both you're farther along the way than we are, even in your contract. So yes, we'll accept your contract and no kick out clause necessary, but it is still contingent on the sale of that house. So that was scenario number 2, but you don't need a kick out clause. And that's kind of the best if the buyers have already gotten themselves down the pathway a good little ways to start with. It eliminates a whole lot of risk for everybody. So the moral of the story is not all house sale contingencies are equal. They're not all the same. You have to look at each one individually and say, how much risk are my sellers undertaking here? How much are they undertaking here? To determine, do we need to have a kick-out clause in this scenario or not? If you have more questions, my contact info is right here on the screen. Feel free to pause this video and jot it down. Just shoot me a quick text. I'll get you answers. And hey, thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time.